So, watching the movie The Secret back in 2012 completely changed my life. Learning about the law of attraction gave me an insight into life that I just previously hadn't had. I realised that life wasn't merely happening to me, but that I was also happening to life. The penny finally dropped, and I realised that I had real influence over my life through the beliefs I was holding and the actions I was engaging in. However, I would argue that in the long term, the movie The Secret actually caused me more harm and quite a bit of anxiety, and I'm going to explain why. Because the movie frames the law of attraction so simply, stating that if you can visualize something, the universe will give you it, it really creates, in my opinion, a false picture of what's going on. And I started to blame myself when things weren't working out, and I was thinking, oh, I must have been thinking so negatively, meaning I could only think positively, which is just plain impossible and is unnatural, and it also isn't a good thing to do anyway, but that's a topic for another day. I then started to really doubt the law of attraction, but felt conflicted because I had had some insights into the law of attraction working. When I visualized things, sometimes I was getting them. So what was going on? So personally, I hate this whole notion of the universe giving you things because it externalizes the sense of power and control. And for me, this isn't a practical way to get things done. I really like to have a tangible explanation of how and why things are working. Now, I know now that the law of attraction isn't complete BS, but there's a much more scientific explanation for it, which I'm going to explain to you now. In the back of our brains, just above the spinal cord, we have something known as the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. It's essentially a bunch of neurons within the brainstem, and it's responsible for a very interesting phenomenon. Have you ever bought a new car only to suddenly start seeing that car everywhere on the road? I've had this experience. And how about learning a new word and suddenly you start hearing it everywhere and you previously never heard that word? Maybe you've just bought a new jacket and yep, you guessed it, you see it everywhere. You start seeing everyone wearing it. This is your RAS at play because the jacket, let's say, is something that is in your awareness, and so your RAS starts filtering it out. It starts to see it everywhere. Now, to give you an example of this, I want you to spend the next 10 seconds finding everything in your immediate surroundings that are red. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now answer this. How many things did you see which were yellow? I bet if you're being honest, that answer is 0 because your brain simply wasn't looking for this. It wasn't paying attention to it. And it's worth noting that this was a completely unconscious process. Yes, I programmed your RAS to find red, but the RAS then unconsciously did the work. So how does this relate to the law of attraction? And how can you harness the RAS to attract what you want? Ultimately, the RAS is the law of attraction. And the benefit to knowing that this isn't coming from a mystical outside source such as the universe is that we have a lot more sense of agency over utilizing the ability to attract what we desire. And it's good to know it isn't just up to the gods or the universe or fate or whatever you want to call it. Although I'm also not wholly dismissing that there are powers and forces beyond our control and knowledge as well. But in this case, it's quite straightforward actually. To program the RAS isn't necessarily an easy process or something you can do by flicking a switch. It definitely takes work. The trick is to combine your conscious mental forces with that of the unconscious. It is to say that if you spend time focusing on what you do want, your unconscious mind, your RAS, is a lot more likely to endeavor to find those things and bring them to your life if it knows what it's looking for. It also even may distort the information it's given to fit what it's looking for. Perhaps earlier on, when I taught you to look for things that were red, you were looking at things that were actually pink or dark orange, but your mind disregarded that and counted them as red anyway. This also works in a negative way as well, of course, and it's the reason why people who see the glass half empty all the time simply can't find joy in anything. Two people could see the same stimuli and perceive two complete different things from it. For example, if it's raining, one person whose RAS is to look at things that are depressing may filter the rain as being depressing. Someone whose RAS is more positively programmed may see the rain as refreshing or that it gives life to things. So ultimately, the law of attraction and the way it's framed in the movie The Secret is exactly that. It's a framing device. Some more practical tips I have to program your RAS are to think in a visualization and think about the things you want. So write things down using descriptive words and block any language and stories from your vocab that fly in the face of what you do want to bring about, because these stories are programming your RAS. It's something we do very unconsciously. So the key is to make this a conscious process. The whole idea is that the more you think about something, the more you're going to see it. So another tip is to write down what you want and put it somewhere you're going to see it often. So I use my phone's lock screen all the time to do lists, because this helps to program my RAS. Every time I see it, I am motivated to think about the thing more, and it helps to bring the thing about and means I get things done. So if you found this video helpful, I would absolutely love it and be so grateful if you would like it, share it, and make a comment, leave a comment on it, because I'm trying to grow my channel. So if you know anyone that would be interested in this content, please share it with them. And also, if you would like to leave a comment on something you've attracted with the law of attraction, your RAS, I would love to hear about it. So hasta luego, on to the next one. Ciao for now. Bye.